Hello you guys, James Charles here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is a very special day. I am so excited to be filming today because I get to reveal to you guys Painted's second product and first ever palette, the Basic Canvas. Before we get into today's video, I want to start off by saying a massive thank you to every single person watching, especially those that have supported Painted. Starting a new makeup brand in 2023 of all times with no partners, no investors, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, was absolutely horrifying. I have put so much into this project, but I just didn't know if people would be interested, but I was so grateful on our launch day. Some of the paint sold out in literally less than 6 minutes and the entire collection was gone later on that night while we were celebrating at the launch party. The reviews have been amazing so far and it has been so cool to see artists and everyday makeup lovers trying out the paints, creating beautiful looks, and giving their honest reviews and feedback. It hasn't all been perfect, but we're learning as we go, and I look forward to continuing to make this brand amazing for you guys. One comment that I've gotten a couple of times throughout the reviews has been, I love these paints, but I just don't know if I can see myself using all these crazy colors on an everyday basis, and trust me, I definitely get it. I tried my best to show you guys the ways that they can be used throughout your everyday makeup routine, but not everybody wants to do colorful glam all the time. For our first launch, it was really important to me that the first product represented me and the brand identity as a whole, but for our second launch, I thought it was really important that our product was a staple that everybody would be able to use in their makeup kits. After my Morphe collaboration, I became known for my James Charles X Morphe palette. It's one of the best-selling palettes in makeup history, which is an achievement I could have never dreamed of and will forever be grateful for, but now that chapter has closed. The day is finally here, and I finally get to present to you the Basic Canvas. Before I show you the inside, I want to tell you the story of this palette and the marketing behind it. The first time that you guys actually saw the Basic Canvas palette, you didn't even know that you actually saw the palette. I've been hiding the Basic Canvas palette in all sorts of Painted content, including our Halloween horror shoot and as well as in our original paint campaign. I actually made a TikTok last week sending you guys on an Easter egg hunt and promised that the first person who figured out what the product was would be added to the PR list. So congratulations to this user. Next, you guys got to see our iconic memes commercial, which, oh my God, might have been one of the most fun things I have ever gotten to do. The palette is all neutral shades, which obviously we've seen before in the makeup world. This is not revolutionary, it's not a groundbreaking color story by any means, but it's not supposed to be, and I thought it would be hilarious to make a joke out of that. Bringing my muse back from the past is my internal monologue, or the little angel and devil on my shoulder, to argue over whether or not this palette was actually a good idea was insane in the absolute best way possible. I want to say a massive thank you to Stro and his entire production team that helped bring this ridiculous vision to life. I hope that when you guys watched, it gave you a good laugh and brought back some nostalgic memories like it did for me. Next came the movie poster, which to me might honestly be my favorite part of this entire campaign. You guys know I love movies. I am such a movie buff, and I also really have a passion for graphic design, so I thought it would be so cool to create a character poster bringing all of these iconic memes together. I want to say another massive thank you to Oscar Beale for putting this together. He is so talented. He thought of literally every single detail, and I cannot wait to get this framed in my house. Lastly, I really wanted the campaign photos for this collection to be pretty different than everything else that we've done. The commercial was super quick, super witty, and very intense, so I really wanted the photos to be almost basic. I am a stickler for packaging, which I hope to continue to prove with every single Painted launch, but one really cool fact about this is I actually painted the swatches on the cover myself, but I remember during the process, I had so many mess ups until I finally had the winning design. So I thought recreating this experience on a bigger scale would be so cool. I went to work hand mixing every single paint color until they finally matched the shades perfectly, and then painted canvases, and canvases, and canvases, and more canvases until we finally had enough to literally fill an entire room for the shoot. My team found a beautiful loft in downtown LA and slayed the set design, and I want to say a massive thank you to my friend Tati who ate up these photos that'll be featured on the Painted website. All right, now let's finally get into the Basic Canvas palette. Oh, I'm so excited for this. First, you guys can see the packaging. It's meant to look like an artist canvas, so it's white, it feels like that beautiful canvas texture, and as you guys can see on the top, we have these insane 3D paint swatches. As I mentioned before, I hand mixed every single color and did these swatches myself until I finally had the perfect version. And as you guys will see in a second, these colors on top match the shades inside. On the back, there's a wooden frame all the way around and so many cute details as well, like little metal staples, so it actually looks like a stretched artist canvas. It literally looks and feels so real, like an actual piece of art. So I know that not only are you guys going to love using the shades inside, but you're also just going to love having this in your collection. Finally opening up the palette, you guys have a giant mirror with a painted logo, perfect for your makeup application, and 24 beautiful shades, mattes and shimmers, all neutrals for any makeup artist of any skill level. I designed and organized these colors so you guys would have a little bit of everything, perfect for any neutral glam makeup look. Let's get into the swatches. The first row of the palette is all cool tones, so starting off with the shade Finnegan, you guys all know my dog. This is a beautiful pale champagne shimmer that is perfect for highlighting. For all the shimmer shades, I'll lower my lighting a little bit so you guys can really see the glitter effect. Next we have Sugar, which is a pale matte bone color, which has quickly become one of my favorite shades in the entire palette. You can barely see it because it's really close to my skin tone, but this has so much pigment. I love using this to set my lid or cut crease, but one hack that I have been loving is using my new J9 brush, which we'll get to later on, to use a little bit of sugar underneath my eyes or the center of my forehead for a really beautiful highlight. Next we have Cookie Dough, which is a light, cool brown, perfect for a transition shade or a contour. Oak is slightly darker, so you can add dimension to your smoky eye or your crease. Next we have Treehouse, which I named after my dad because he built one for me and my brother as kids, and this is a deeper brown, so you can add some more dimension. I love this color for liner or brows. And last we have Lava Cake, inspired by my favorite restaurant on earth, Chili's. Literally had a triple dipper last night. This is the darkest brown in the palette. Here are all the swatches for row number 1. Let's move on to row number 2. This group of colors is my warm Goldens row. Named after my favorite place in all of Australia, Gold Coast is a beautiful, bright gold that literally twinkles and shimmers on your lids. I am obsessed with this formula. The next shade is Mango, which is my favorite fruit, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys, honestly, this color on the palette is kind of weird. It's like this muted mustardy yellow color, but trust and believe, it is the perfect color to use as a transition shade or to warm up any other shadow. I use this color so often in my looks. UV Index is a light brown that leans slightly warm. This is my favorite transition shade in the palette and reminds me of getting that perfect summertime tan. I am literally the worst swatcher. Like, why is that over there? Hello? This bronze shimmer is called Movie Night and it reminds me of true Hollywood glitz and glam. Look at how beautiful that is. Oh, next we have Freckled, a warm chocolatey brown that is named Freckled because look at where I just put that swatch. What the hell? Okay, so this shade is a warm chocolatey brown and the name is pretty on the nose because you guessed it, it is perfect for creating freckles. And lastly, we have Soul, a rich, deep brown shimmer. These are all 6 shades from row number 2. Let's move on to row number 3. The third row is dedicated to my pinks. Starting off with Cloud 9, this is a super pale pink shimmer with white reflect. It is so icy and beautiful. This is what I have on my inner corners currently. This beautiful matte pink really means a lot to me because it is the color of breast cancer awareness. And some of you guys might know that my mom is a survivor. So this color is called Warrior. Now the next color is probably my favorite shade in the entire palette. It's called Champs after champagne. I named this after my friends Trevor and Lena because they love a nice bottle of champagne, but I have never seen a formula quite like this before. It is this like, it is just the most beautiful, like bright, vibrant Barbie pink, but it literally looks like wet glitter on your skin. Look at how stunning that looks. This is what I have all in my eyelids right now. You guys can see the little glitter reflex. I am obsessed, obsessed. It is so beautiful. Next is Vintage, which is just a matte dusty rose color if you want a more muted pop of pink. The next color has a very special place in my heart, named after my favorite video game of all time, Minecraft. This color is called Redstone and is a warm, glittery red. Oh, look at that. Now, you guys all saw the video about my parents selling our childhood home, which for me was an amazing way to memorialize all of those amazing memories. I thought it'd be really cool to have one shade in the palette to remind me of the house. So this shade is Wimple. It matches the color of the home and is the name of the street that we grew up on. Those are all 6 shades in row number 3. Our fourth and final row is all the colors that you would need for a warm, smoky eye. Starting off with Creamsicle, a super pale, beautiful orange, perfect for a transition shade. Next, we have a bright matte orange called Daisy, named after my favorite character in Mario Kart. It is a true orange. Next, we have Fox, which is a medium burnt orange I named after one of my best friends, Drew, who has a channel here on YouTube called Lone Fox Home. This burnt orangey red reminds me so much of 2016 Glam. I know that you guys are going to be obsessed with the shade. It's called Famous. Now this deep chocolate brown is called Gampy and is named after my dog Finnegan because we call him that. He is only 4 years old, but for some reason acts like he is literally 1,000. This is Gampy. And last but not least, the richest, darkest, blackest eyeshadow you will ever use, named after my second child, Theodore. And here are all the swatches in row number 4. So those are all 24 shades of the basic canvas palette. And keep in mind, you guys, swatches are just so you can see the color. It really matters how they perform on the eyes, which speaking of, I'm obviously wearing several colors today in this beautiful eye look, but make sure you stay tuned for next week's video where I'm gonna show you all sorts of different tutorials on different looks that you can create using the colors inside. Now quickly, before we move on to the next product, I have 2 things that I wanna mention about this palette. Number 1, of course, I love my fans using Painted. This brand would literally not exist if it were not for you guys, but it's also equally important to me that this brand works for working artists and that all my products are kit friendly too. So you'll notice every single one of these shades actually has a little divot next to it, and that's because these pans are actually magnetic. So if you wanted to reorganize or depot them for your kit, all you have to do is just pop a little palette knife right in there and they'll come right out. And lastly, we had this conversation years ago, so I know that you guys know the drill, but I have to say it. This palette does contain both eyeshadows and pressed pigments. If you're in the EU, UK, or Australia, no warning is necessary and you can use it however you want. But if you're in America, the American FDA does not recommend any pressed pigments for use around the eye area because they can cause potential staining or irritation. All of the shades and ingredients will be listed on the back of the box and as well on our website at painted.co. Now, moving on from the palette, of course, with a launch like this, I need to give you guys the tools to succeed. The reaction to our first brush set was actually incredible. Everyone has been loving them. And speaking of my working artist friends, all of them have been absolutely obsessed with Painted brushes. So of course, I needed to bring out a new set that pairs perfectly with the basic canvas. So this is our new 8-piece brush set, perfect to create any eyeshadow look. First, we have the J7, which is a little mini smudger brush, perfect for blending out any eyeliner or lower lash line shadow. Next, we have J8, which is a pencil brush, perfect for highlighting your inner corners, brow bone, or of course, down the tip of the nose. J9 is a mini round brush, perfect for detailed blending. J10 and J11 are both crease brushes. They're the exact same shape, but J11 is double the size. J12, I was not expecting this, has quickly become one of my favorite brushes that we have ever made. It is the perfect shape and density for really packing shadow onto the lid. And like I said beforehand, I love using this with that shade Sugar from the palette to really pack shadow onto the lid or to even highlight the center of your face or right below your eyes. J13 is a tapered blending brush, which is perfect for soft blending or fanning out any edges. And finally, J14 is definitely another favorite brush of mine. It is this really large but dense, fluffy brush, so it's perfect for setting the lid with any powder or shadow or doing a large wash of color with a transition shade. I've now shown you everything from this collection, so let's finally get into the launch details. The basic canvas palette with all 24 beautiful shades inside will retail for $55, and our new Painted eyeshadow brushes will retail for $8 a piece, or you can get the full set for $50. Everything will be launching on November 15th at 10 a.m. PST on painted.co, but I am very excited to announce that we're partnering with TikTok Shop for the first time ever for a 24-hour early release on November 14th at 10 a.m. PST on my profile or the painted.co profile. I think that is finally everything that I needed to say. I know that was a lot of information, and I hope that you guys are excited about this brand new palette as I am. Like I said, my first Morphe palette meant the absolute entire world to me, but that chapter is now closed, and it's time for new beginnings. I know that you guys have been asking for this, and I really hope that you love this product as much as I do. Owning your brand so far has been an absolute dream come true, and I'm so excited, and I hope to keep impressing you guys launch after launch. I will see you guys on November 14th or 15th at 10 a.m. PST. Mark your calendars, set your alarms, because I hope you're excited to get the basic canvas in your makeup collection. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, of course, please give it a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you have not already. Click that bell icon because next week I'll be uploading a full YouTube video with a bunch of different tutorials on how you guys can use this palette to create a bunch of different looks. Follow me, my different socials, James Charles, painted.co. I love you guys, and I will see you next week. Bye.